What's up, everybody? Shawnee D Man here, and welcome to the first new segment of the Nerd Talk variety. This is Nerd Talk After Hours, and this particular segment of the podcast, you will get not as frequent as the regular podcast episodes. These are kind of like the special treat episodes that I'm very excited to do for you guys. And we have a special guest on. She was on Wednesday's episode of Nerd Talk. So please tell us again, who are you?
Hello, I am Sikx Rin. I don't know if you want me to go into more than that or
No. That's completely fine. So she was on this previous episode of Nerd Talk, and I invited her on to be the first guest of Nerd Talk After Hours. This content, this podcast is primarily, it's going to be whatever, uh, uh, life, relationships, weird moments in life, Onlyfans, sexual content. So this is, it's going to, again, the title says it itself. This is Nerd Talk After Hours. So we are definitely going to be having some fun conversations, not only starting tonight or starting today or tonight, whenever you listen to this, but in the future as well. So we are going to talk about Sikx's Fansly. She is a adult content creator, meaning she does a lot of cosplays, but a lot of sexualized cosplays as well. So I want to get into. I have followed her on all her social media, and so when we were getting together for this, because I told her I need to support you as well because of me, of you coming on. I wanted to support you and your content and things like that. So I subscribed to her Fansly the other day, and I'm just scrolling through, and I messaged her afterwards because I was very surprised about your gushers content that you put up. I was like, I don't think I've seen people eat gushers like that before, but hey, to each their own.
do you want me to describe that?
uh
Like,
yeah, yeah, that's completely fine. Completely fine. I've also added, so for those who are listening, if you heard in the beginning, I've added like a short intro of me talking about this and letting people know what's going to be talked about, so they know ahead of time. So you're free to go.
I won't be too explicit. Um, so that was actually inspired by one of my supporters. He
Oh,
always joked about eating gushers out of my booty. And like I don't take custom requests, but I like to get to know people and throw in little things that we've chatted about or like that they're into like the things that I put on my Fansly and I mean other socials as well.
right.
Um, so yeah, I got some gushers and I put it in between my butt cheeks and then I just wiggled and then spread my cheeks a little bit and they all dropped out and I ate them afterwards and they were still incredibly delicious. And I actually put the outfit I'm wearing, I posted a picture of it on Instagram. And when I'm eating the gushers, I have that clip on there as well. And
Okay.
I mentioned if you go to the dark side, we also have gushers. So yeah, nobody knows what the context of that is unless you're on my Fansly. So
Right. I got you. So what got you into Fansly? I know so I knew more about OnlyFans because I do have some friends who do OnlyFans, but I never knew about Fansly until one of my friends told me about it. So I never.
Stop beating me.
sorry.
Please stop the beating.
I just got a tea delivery from
That's
my house.
that's completely fine. No problem. No problem. So what
I'm
got you?
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So what got you into Fansly?
Okay, so I don't know. I feel like this is a process. First of all, it's what the cool kids are doing these days, right? Like everybody
That's
has
true.
one.
That's true.
Like I wish people could just talk about it and it wasn't so taboo because I'm curious. Like every time I see a chick that looks like you know, she's like all dolled up. I'm like, what were you doing? Like right before you came to Target, you know? But it's so taboo. But honestly, like I've always been into the adult industry. I obviously love creating content. I will be honest though, my sexier side is a little bit more challenging for me.
Hmm.
I have to really think about my content on there, probably more than other content because I usually am not a great seductress.
Oh, I see.
I'm like, hey, is this hot? Or I'll put on my mustache and like that's more comfortable for me. Like this, you know,
Right, yes.
like stroke it like this. But um I I'm very picky when it comes to like the adult content that I personally watch.
Mhm.
And I like to improve and create things that I find appealing, and sharing that is just as exciting for me as it is for like the other content I make, and it pushes me like out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
And honestly, it helps me a lot with my confidence as well. Like, okay, maybe I can be kind of hot, because I question that a lot because I am like an awkward, weird girl. And I'm like, God damn, I'm not sexy, but I can be. And
Right.
I've recorded some things and taken some photos,
Mhm.
and it's helped me feel better about myself in that department.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, very understandable. I know you're more on the side of the teasing the aspect of it. You're not really into the full blown like, hey, here's my nudes and kind of thing. So why is that? Why are you more on the side of the teasing more compared to most people who, put full blown nudes out there?
So I would say I tease a lot more like on my Instagram.
Mm.
Some people would probably label me as a troll, and I like to me, leaving a little bit to the imagination is so much hotter than like full blown like penetration.
Right.
And there's so much porn out there. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? If you want to see that, you can go somewhere else. And I know that there's other people that enjoy the type of content that I create. I know that I have had some people subscribe and they're hoping that they see more. But generally, I think overall, because my content is a little bit different than what you see on other pages, most people are pretty happy with it. At least that's what they tell me.
Right, right. And yeah, because like I said, it's you don't really have a lot of female or even male, but primarily female content creators. At least from what I've seen, they are. It's a lot more. They put a lot more nudity out into it compared to the teasing. You're right. The teasing is probably a lot better because, like you said, you leave it up to the imagination and things like that. Um, and that's one of the things that got my attention when I came across your account was she's catching my attention, which is because it's easy enough to just like scroll through and just see like a nude woman and not really think much about it. But if you come across like say like you where you're teasing, it draws the attention a little bit more because like now I'm kind of like, well, now I want to see more. If this is how this is going to go. So
Yes, it's all part of my plan.
but you put a lot of work into that plan, I see. So what? When did you start your Fansly?
I started my Fansly. I know the exact. It's weird, actually. I know the exact date of when I started everything and Fansly.
Okay.
It was on St. Patrick's Day this year, so March 17th of this year.
So not it's not. Oh wow, that's relatively. That's huh. I did not think it would be because I was thinking it would probably be around the same year mark as you, doing your cosplaying and things like that. But yeah, that's relatively new. And how many?
New. Yeah.
Did it take a while to get a lot of traction and followers, or was it?
No, just because of the way I started
Oh,
and I
okay.
began with a following elsewhere. I do wonder sometimes because I started to blow up before I had that option, like how much opportunity I missed out on that would have gone to my fans. Like people have never seen my content again. Um, but I almost didn't do it. And it was because I kept having comments like on my videos on TikTok that was like, oh, I bet she's got an OnlyFans, or oh, that's an
Uh,
OnlyFans girl. And I had like people sharing some of my more lewd photos on Instagram and saying that I was on OnlyFans. And it really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, I don't want to be stereotyped. I don't want to be grouped into this category where I can be labeled like that. And it
mhm.
pissed me off. But now I'm like, you know what? No, fuck it all. And I'm going to capitalize because I do
Yeah.
have some hot stuff and I'm going to share it. And everyone's going to enjoy it. And it's going to be so much fun. And screw everybody else that just wants to stereotype because they're going to do that with everything.
Right.
So,
Right. So with your
but yeah.
so with your out, because personally for me, I've always found, I guess, interesting is probably not interesting is probably the word I want to use, but that's probably a better word, because for me, like for instance, I could probably go to your, like if we have never met before, I could probably go to your account or your TikTok, probably your Instagram mainly, but like I'll see people comment, just be like, "Oh, you're hot, you're sexy," the fire emoji and everything like that. And like for me, I'm just like, well, yes, she probably knows you're hot. She knows she's hot. So I mean, how does that? Because I've always wondered, does that like add more into your confidence, or is it, or you're just like, well, yeah, I know, not like in a smug kind of way, like, yeah, I know I'm attractive, but thank you for the compliment kind of way. How does what are your thoughts on that? Because I've been wanting to ask somebody uh, who does these kind of content creations about that.
I'm sure that some people might have a different thought process on that. I've actually always kind of struggled with confidence. And that's another thing that when I started everything, it really helps me with. Because, in your everyday life, you don't get told how hot you are or how
Right.
sexy you are. And like, I had a moment where I'm like, am I even desirable?
Mm,
I know I am now, but I mean, still, I struggle with that. There's days where I don't have confidence and I look in the mirror and I hate my face. Those days I don't make content because you can tell that it's not coming across. Like I like to have like a really energetic personality
right.
and everything I do and be sincere with my feelings, and sometimes it's just lacking. However, I also do not take all compliments sincerely. And I guess I've been kind of hardened to it because everyone has an agenda
Right.
and a purpose.
Right.
Um, and it really depends on how it comes across and whether or not it means something to me. And when someone can stop my heart and like tear my eyes up, that makes a big difference. And I do get that occasionally. But honestly, that's usually the people who say that like seeing my content brings a smile across their face and like makes their day. Like those are the ones that really make a difference for me. The hot and sexy, like whatever, you know,
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't really do much for
Right.
me. I like the more interesting interactions than that.
Hmm.
It's nice. I'm not going to say, I appreciate all comments.
Right.
I try to reply to everybody and all that, but yeah, they don't really do much for me, is basically what I'm trying to say.
No, no, I understand, because like I'm sure anybody else would, because like when I first, for those who are listening, because like, and I said this in the Wednesday episode of Nerd Talk, we've never met before whatsoever, but I did follow her page, her TikTok page for a while, And then I messaged her, and quite honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't say this Wednesday, but I was really surprised that I got a response from you, because like if it is very hard trying to reach out to some of these people that I've messaged, because a lot of them I would rather be more business professional about it and just email them, rather than go to their Instagram accounts unless I have to. But I was like really surprised that you had responded back. I was like, oh man, was not expecting that whatsoever. So obviously, I was very, very grateful for you responding and coming on, because like I could look at you and just be like, yeah, this is another attractive woman. But again, when I started this, like and I'm clear about it too. When I send messages out to people that I want to have on, whether it's Nerd Talk After Hours or Nerd Talk with Sean and D Man, is that this is a chance for me, because I'm always enjoying meeting new people. This is a chance for me to branch out and meet new people and build new relationships with people, because in today's world it's a hot mess,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to use this as a way of bringing people together and getting to know them. And I mean, obviously, I don't care whether you do OnlyFans, Fansly, or whatever like that. If I consider you a friend, then I'm going to consider you a friend and just get to know you on a more personal level. And because most people aren't like that. Most people are just kind of like, oh, look, an attractive hot woman. Let me throw money at her so I can get some of her nudes or something like that. And whereas like I support your Fansly because you're supporting me by coming on here and doing this. And so obviously I really appreciate that as well. I'm trying to think what some other. So one of the things I like about I spent like, I'm trying to remember what day I subscribed. I think it was maybe Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I spent most of Thursday just scrolling through your fans, because I don't know how Fansly works. It's completely different from how OnlyFans works. So
Yeah.
it took me a little bit to understand it, that there's tiers and stuff like that. But just scrolling through it, and it's just like one of the ones I can see where, again, just the teasing aspect of your content is very much appealing. Okay, there's one that you did where you're dressed as Ray Skywalker, and you had the lightsaber and you were rubbing it and it lit up, and you kind of like did this smile and wink. I was like, that's pretty attractive right there. That's definitely got my attention. And then I don't think it was some other one. And then you have some photos on there that um what was it? I know you mentioned when we were talking the other week. I came across this particular one where you were wearing like a white bra, and you said that's not your favorite.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the first image I sent you when I made the cover for this particular episode, it was you in that white bra, and you said you're not a big fan of that one. Why is that? Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good on you, but why specifically do you not like that?
Okay, so I like the white bra. It's just kind of like how I told you, sometimes I hate my face.
Okay, I got
I
you. I
mean,
got you.
and like lighting and angles and my current mood just all plays into that.
Uh,
So yeah. And I feel like my content overall has gotten better, and that's a really old photo. Um so yeah, that's why. I do have other stuff on Fansly in that.
okay.
But yeah, that particular one, I'm just like, oh, makes me cringe.
Mhm.
And like I want to remove it, but it's one of my highest like things on Twitter just because it was one of my first things. So I'm like,
Right,
I guess
right.
I'll it.
Your Twitter has a sensitive content marker on it, and I think it's you in one of the pictures that you sent me. It was like you in like a yellow kind of dress. I guess it was a dress. Um, I think it was a dress. Um,
Oh yeah. And then the yellow lingerie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. which was pretty funny because you have that mustache on, and so
Yeah.
so I really enjoyed that little content right there, because I thought that was really really funny. Because you look
Yeah,
like you
I
just have so much
feel,
fun doing it.
oh my God, I do. Like I love mixing insane with like hot. There's
Mhm.
so many thirst traps out there, and
Right.
honestly, I kind of suck at them. I suck at them, but like I admire them, and like I think girls they look great in them, but I don't feel comfortable doing them the standard way. So I put on my mustache or something, and then it just feels better. But like that audio for that particular video you're talking about,
Mhm.
I freaking love it. I had to do something with it. And I have some other, I guess you'd call them thirst traps on TikTok like that.
Mhm.
Like there's one where I don't know if you ever saw the Brack show with Zorak, the
Yeah, with
mantis.
Space Ghost and
Yes.
yes, I did see that.
So I loved all those shows, but Zorak I kind of portray in a video like that. Did you ever hear that song that was Billy, I just want you to fuck me to
Oh
sleep?
yes, I heard that one.
Okay, so I have a video. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you with my mantis?
I don't think I've seen that.
So I like to take these little thirsty things that are obviously very thirsty and talking very sexual and switching it around. And like my mantis comes up to my girl that's talking about Billy wanting to fuck her to sleep or whatever, and like grabs her and starts eating her head and like drags her on the ground. And I just freaking love stuff like that. I love twisting those
Right.
thirsty things and like making them my own. Those are some of the most exciting things. And I recently did on my Instagram, my last post is a Luke and Leia being attracted to each other. I don't know if you've seen it.
I think I think I was I think I was watching it while I was waiting on you to come back. I think I was checking it
Yeah.
out and everything.
Yeah, I like to push the boundaries as far as I can without getting in trouble.
Understandable, because there's one on your I think this is TikTok, or you may have it on your Instagram as well, where it's that thing where if you open your mouth or you move, you have to like sleep with this person, and it's you dressed
Oh.
as Leia, and whoever that is, I guess it's you, has the Palpatine mask on and everything. And
No, it's not actually. That's another content creator.
oh, okay,
His name is BJ Wimpy, and he does a lot of Palpatine. I never freaking say it right. Palpatine. And so yeah, I'm Ray Skywalker, and he's obviously my grandfather.
right.
And don't move, or I'll make you have sex with this
Oh,
old
yes,
dude. And
yes,
he's the old dude. He's got like fishnet stockings on,
exactly.
and it's just so freaking perfect. And I get people all the time that's like, "Gross, that's your grandpa." I'm like, "Bitch, I know that's my grandpa."
I mean, not only
That's
that,
why
it's Star Wars. I mean, it's not.
I know a lot of people think that I'm a fake Star Wars fan,
Clearly,
and
you're not.
I know clearly.
I mean, just exactly.
But people think that all the time. It's like you can't be a girl and
Oh
like
my
to hold the
god,
lightsaber. Yeah.
that's
So
that's
so I get
ridiculous.
comments like that, or like on I mean, this is kind of going off track from nerd talk, but
That's fine.
there's one I did where everyone was commenting that I used the wrong color lightsaber for Obi-Wan. And I'm like, dude, I know. Like, I'm sorry. I can't. It was literally a toy lightsaber, too. It wasn't like the cool NeoPixels or anything like that.
Right.
Like, I funny to use a fucking toy. And they're all like, no, Obi-Wan had a blue saber, not green. I'm like, Jesus, people love to mansplain
Yes.
all the time.
Yes, they do. I mean, you don't have like tons of money just to go out and get the exact thing every single time.
No, and I
So,
thought about like being like, okay, guys, if you want to go and buy me every single hilt for every single character, you can do that.
oh yeah,
But
definitely.
that's expensive. The only
Exactly.
really cool hilt I have is Luke Skywalker's.
I
Just because
do
I think
like.
he's like,
There was one you did on your TikTok. It was it, it was I think it was Ray, Ahsoka, and each one had like a different thing. What was it? I'm trying to remember exactly. Because one of them had something about it was Ahsoka talking about she likes DP, like deep
Oh,
penetration. I can't remember what the other ones were, but that one stuck out of my mind, and I was just like, "This is pretty funny."
okay. So yeah, that's another thing I like doing is taking like the trends that are like male oriented and making
Mhm.
them female, like taking a female version. And that was one where a guy had started where he took like different Star Wars characters and said like sexually what they were into. I don't remember. I actually tagged them on TikTok when I made that video, giving them credit. So you should go look. Now TikTok lets you link to their videos. I wish I had that link now.
Oh,
But like at the end, the Sith was the foot guy, and I'm like,
oh,
oh my god, that's so fucking good.
yes.
So I wanted to take the female characters and imagine like what they would be like in the bedroom. For me, I know exactly all of them off the top of my head. For me, Ray is so boring. So she's missionary.
That's
Um,
right. That's right.
yeah, and then Princess Leia is a little more exciting. So she's doggy style. And I just say doggy because I wanted to be safe.
Right.
Ahsoka, I went with DP because she's got the two lightsabers.
Exactly.
And I just thought that was hilarious. And then is that all of them? I think that's all of them before I go
Yeah.
to tentacles.
Yes. That's okay. Yeah, that was the last one. I also say, oh man, I
Yeah.
didn't. I
Yeah,
was not expecting that one.
like tentacles.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my fifth girl is the hentai tentacle lover.
Yeah. They very much appreciate you showing them some love.
Yeah.
And so let me think. What so now TikTok, I don't know if you've got an increase in this, but now TikTok shows, I think you get a notification each time people save your video. Have you
Oh yeah.
gotten a lot of like upticks in people saving your stuff?
Um, I mean, I do get notified for that now. I don't think
Hmm.
so. I don't like, they've changed the way their notifications work.
Right.
Um, so it's kind of a pain to go in and see each individual thing. What I don't like about that is I think it hurts your algorithm and how far your video is going to go. I've noticed that the ones where I'm like hotter, and it's more thirsty,
Mhm.
those get saved often, of course. But so like some of my other stuff that I think is really fucking good, if it doesn't get saved, it doesn't go as far.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think there's so many little things that go into it that
Right. Yeah, because it is
make it.
interesting watching you, like again, like you said with your thirst traps, you get a lot more traction with those. But if you post something that's non-thirst trap but it's really good, it doesn't get as many. It doesn't get them a lot of attention as
Mhm.
well. And I've seen a lot of TikTokers talk about the algorithm being weird
Yeah,
because it's not like it's not consistent. Um,
no,
you're not. Do
it's,
you have a blue check mark?
no, I don't know how to get that.
Oh,
Like,
I,
and literally, I have several creator friends that have way more followers than me, and
mhm,
they don't know how to get it either. I, like I said in our other podcast, I have all these theories. I think it has to do with money, and if like
oh
they're
yeah,
with an agency, I think like the agencies have some sort of deal because it seems like if like you're a famous musician or like an actress or actor or like a girl who has an OnlyFans with an agency,
mhm,
those are all the ones with blue check marks. I am my own individual. Um, and all the people that I know that are like that, regardless of their following, they don't have the blue check mark. And like there's nowhere in TikTok where you can apply for it.
right.
So I'll probably never be verified. Like I swear I'm a real person. It is my real account, but
Because I do know
they won't verify.
Twitter, you can just, I think you can like mark something on your Twitter to try to get the verified.
Oh,
Instagram, I think. Let me double check that. I don't want to tell you wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that. Let's see.
I didn't know that.
Let's see.
Oh, going back a little bit, you're right about like my other videos not getting as much, but I also have a very big male following.
Oh
Like
yeah,
my
yeah.
female following is incredibly low. It went up a little bit when I did a lesbian TikTok between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
I see.
Um,
Yeah, I saw that one.
but most of my content's not like that, so I'm pretty sure most of those followers are gone.
um, and so I'm trying to think what else was so with your we were talking about this before I hit record. We were talking about how you were getting a lot of thirsty messages.
Mhm.
And there's one that you shared that you and you kind of like you kind of egg it on, which is fine. I don't really I don't really care as much because I do find it funny as a guy seeing how other guys act when they jump into
Yeah.
another woman's DMs and things like that, and I'm just like, come on, man, what are you doing? But tell us about that.
Okay, so when I first started everything, I replied to all DMs. And I wish I still could because I really enjoy the conversations I have with people, just like what we're doing now.
Mhm.
It's like-minded people. You have things and interested in common, whereas, in your everyday life, you might not have that. So yeah, I connect with a lot of people on here. But anyway, so because I replied to everybody, including like the simple ones were like, hey baby, hey sexy, like I think you're so hot, like that's fuck.
Right.
I don't sext. I will talk about like kinks and things and stuff like that, like on my fansly. But sexting isn't my thing. And the people who come off like immediately aggressive like that, I would totally fuck with them. And I did plan on having like a whole thing on Twitter for their conversations, like blocking out their names. But I don't
Right.
reply anymore on there. Not like I used to. Like I'll occasionally go in and send like a random message.
Mhm.
Or I'll check like my requests, like how I found yours,
Mhm.
and reply that way, but it's missing. But yeah, like people would ask, like, hey baby, how about you send me a pussy pic and I'll send you my dick. And so I'll send them a kitty cat, just a random kitty cat that I find on Google or whatever. And it was really fun. I kind of miss messing with people like that. Oh, actually, what is kind of funny is one of the guys, and I don't know if this conversation is on Twitter or not. I had some really good conversations with him going back and forth and just sending him dumb photos.
Mhm.
And he did subscribe to my fansly. And I don't know why I didn't scare him away and why he's still continued to follow me um, and still talks to me like that. I'm a little bit nicer on
Right.
Fansly than I am on Instagram when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, I think men, like when they have your mindset too, get a kick out of it too, because you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Those are the types of guys that will just send random dick pics. And I'll be honest, like some girls really don't like it. And I'm okay, I'm not telling everybody to send me dick pics. But if someone is wanting to do that, I am always incredibly curious of what they're so proud of showing me.
Oh,
Because
I see. I see.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they're
Yes.
like, look at my member. And it's so funny too, because like my photography, I try to get creative and like do different poses, and it's not easy for me. But then every single dude photo is the same angle, same
Uh,
pose.
yeah.
It's just
It's
so
it,
funny
like
to me.
like you see a lot of it on, or at least a lot of people. I guess these are the female people. They on Reddit. You see a lot of it too. Like you'll see like posts of people talking about how this random guy slid in my DMs and saying all this stuff, or they sent like a dick pic, but obviously it's blurred out, and like you'll see. I was like, oh my god, is this, and again on Twitter, like I'll see it too, and TikTok, women talking about like don't send girls dick pics, unless you're like OnlyFans or something like that, where if they pay you, you'll look. But I'm just like, what is the need or what is the reason for you to consistently do that? Just send a random woman a picture of your dick. That just doesn't, like, why? Like, because obviously
So
it's just, it's crazy.
I've asked that question because when I still get this question a lot about doing dick ratings,
Mhm.
and a few of my subbers that I'm really comfortable with and chat with a lot, I've asked them like what the appeal is behind that. And for them, both of them I asked, they said it's like a validation and confidence boost thing for them. So, and also it's kind of hot to know that you're sending said photo to whoever you're interested in, that they're looking at it too. So I get
Okay.
that. I understand that. I don't do dick ratings. I did one, and I was asked to be honest, and I was honest.
Oh no.
I think I was a little offensive. And I was so fucking proud of the way I did it, but I decided that I'm not going to do that anymore. And I did have this idea where I was going to do dick pic art and like have like like a photo with me and like Photoshop a penis like on my
Oh, I
head
see.
or something, and it's like their penis and like
Oh.
just make it but I gotta find the time to actually do that. And I don't know how many people would be interested, but I think it's really fucking funny. And maybe still gives the validation that they want. But yeah, that might happen sometime in the future.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense because I guess if you're an average guy and you probably don't get compliment. I don't know if the guys that are sending you that send them to you are attractive or not, but I guess if you're somebody who probably has a like a low self esteem, don't really think highly of yourself, sending it to a woman, you know, maybe giving you the confidence to make you feel good, which I guess that's understandable. I never thought of it that way. Again, I was just always curious on why guys. Now some guys are just dicks and just think they can pull any girl, and so.
Yeah.
But that is
Yeah.
interesting. So what's the future of your fans league? I know you said you don't do sexting. Is that something that you may in the future think about doing, or like what's the next evolution of your site?
Um, so I probably will never do sexting just because to me it's not sincere. Like, I'm
Okay,
sorry, I can't suck everybody's dick, and I'm not gonna lie about it
that's fair.
either.
That's fair.
And to me, like authenticity is so important, and that's what I hate about so much porn,
Hmm.
is it's just so fucking fake and scripted and like just a money grab.
It's not authentic,
So yeah,
basically.
and it's just it personally turns me off. So I don't like on my fansly, a lot of girls will charge for DMs. They'll
Oh
charge to send photos in the DMs. I do have pay-per-view content, which is my more lewd stuff,
yeah. Mhm.
but like I don't do that whole photo exchange and things like that that a lot of other people do.
Right.
As far as like the evolution of it, it really just depends. I like to tie like whatever content I'm doing on other platforms into my Fansly. So like my most recent one was Rick Sanchez,
Right.
and I did a photo set as him, female version.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Yeah, so I would like to, I'm always wanting to get like more creative and do things more interesting because to me, like seeing titties so many times is so fucking boring. Like doing the same pose at the same time is so fucking boring. And I've
Right.
had people tell me like, oh, it's fine because like your look will be different. I'm like, no, like people are gonna lose interest. I'm gonna lose interest. Like I don't want to do the same stuff all the time. So I'm constantly trying to like think of like different things.
Mhm.
Like for my Rick, I wanted to do something where you know like when he burps, he is like the
Yeah.
green goo come out. I made a TikTok where I burped and did that. I wanted to be like sprayed with like green goo. But I didn't have like the method of doing it and not staining my clothes, so I didn't do it this time. But just like coming up with like new ideas to like get into the characters, but safely, because I have the limitation of like copyright, and that
Right.
scares me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like imitating these characters, so I try and change them just a little bit. Um, and also it kind of sucks because music also really inspires me for like different things. Like a lot of my favorite things are just like acting out to like music, and I can't do that on there. And I have used a few songs where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I should have done that. But I also have personal limitations where like I don't want to do anything that I regret later on. And so incorporating new things with my limitations is a challenge. But yeah, just trying out things that are going to make my pay-per-views a little bit more interesting, I guess, is my evolution in a way.
Right. Because I mean, yeah, the more I guess, because the more you are creative and the more uniqueness that you have to your account is the more you stand out from everybody else. Because I mean, everybody else can just go and do the same thing. It's just like you know
Yeah.
show tits and that kind of thing. But the best kind of content is and content creators are the ones that kind of brand it's the same, but there's a twist to theirs that make theirs a lot more unique and a lot more attention grabbing as well. For
Yeah.
sure. So as we get ready to wrap this up, this episode, let's see what else. Let's see. I'm trying to think of
Oh,
it.
I wanted to say,
Oh yeah, what's up?
as far as like aggressive men,
Hmm.
okay, so you kind of expect that sometimes from dudes. Like it's not shocking. What you don't expect is when you get it from a female. And
Really?
I have, yes, and I have had that a few times. And I always think, are you actually a guy? Because you
Oh, I
just
see. I
don't,
see.
you don't think that's going to happen from girls.
Hmm.
And I had one, and this is probably the most forward request I've had, and it was to sleep with her and her boyfriend. And I'm like, I'm not a prostitute, so yeah, no.
that's definitely that's definitely not how it works. What about what about I don't at least I don't think I saw on your account. What about like striptease kind of content? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I've done some things like that.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
have one.
I guess I haven't come across that yet.
Yeah, all of that stuff's gonna be like in a pay-per-view.
Oh, okay, that's what. Yeah, yeah.
So that striptease stuff though, I find cringy a lot of times because um the girls look uncomfortable.
Oh,
I don't know, like every time I try something new, I research it and look at the things I like and dislike. So stripteases usually aren't something I gravitate towards
mhm.
because um like I've mentioned several times that I kind of am an awkward girl, but I can turn on my hat when I need to. Um, but like I'm not a good dancer. I fucking suck at it. Unless I'm doing Just Dance, then I can rock it. But yeah, I don't want to come off as cringy in my stuff. Like people are paying for it.
No,
And
no.
like if it looks good, then I'm not gonna put it out there. So stripteases aren't usually my thing, but
Mhm.
I do have videos where I'm taking off my clothes. And there's one where I am pretty proud of it. It's further down on my page. And it's like a full minute of me doing it to a song, and it looks really fucking good. But that
Okay.
is not my norm.
Because I know, yeah, because we're talking about authenticity and everything. Because I think that's one of the things too, which is why when doing this podcast and things like that, um, I've only done one where there was like a script because she would like because the person I did it with she wanted some questions that way she can think about it and things like that. I'm completely fine with that. If you want questions that way you can really think about it because I know I sent you like four just generalized questions, but but I do like to be. I like to try to make this very much authentic, just because I when people listen or people watch, I don't want it to feel like this feels scripted or things like that.
Mhm.
I want people to like really just enjoy two people having a generalized conversation about things without having to feel like it feels like yeah they clearly scripted this out or things like that. And so
Yeah.
now there are times again, but there are times if people want questions or if the guest wants questions, I'm more than happy to come up with like several questions to give them. That way they can work on that as well. But yeah, generally I just like to be make this as comfortable as possible, be loose with it, just have a conversation with people. And so I'm very, very excited for the future, not only for the future of the current podcast I have, but this segment as well. Also, so for those who are listening on podcasts, who are listening to this, tell everybody where to find you.
And I totally burped while you were talking. I don't know if
That's
everybody
okay.
heard that.
They,
I figure I should put that out there in case someone's like, "Oh, did Sean fart?"
There
No,
may
he
be
didn't.
somebody
I
out there who
burped.
likes that. So yeah, I think you're all
Probably.
right.
No kink shaming.
Exactly.
I am on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, kind of, not really, and Fansly, and then OnlyFans has not been built yet. Do not subscribe to that. I had somebody subscribe to that the other day, and I sent them a message, and I'm like, no. I put on there, not clear enough not to sub, but yeah, I tried to put a higher price. I don't remember why OnlyFans didn't let me do that, but it wouldn't let me. Like it was too high or something for a sub
That's
fee.
interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, don't sub to OnlyFans yet because there's nothing there.
And guys, be sure to follow me on Instagram, SeanEman_entertainment. I'll have that information on my Instagram as well, to where you can follow her and give her support to her. But thank you for coming on this first episode of Nerd Talk After Hours. I would definitely be looking forward to having you on again, and I really enjoyed this for sure. Guys, like I said before, this kind of podcast, this is an every once in a while kind of segment. So be sure you're following on Google Podcasts or Spotify. They stay up to date. Go and support Sikx. She does outstanding work. She is a great person, and I have very much enjoyed getting to know her. I think we've been talking about doing this for maybe 2 weeks now. I think maybe longer.
Yeah.
So we've been conversating back and forth, and I generally enjoyed this newly found friendship that I have with her as well. And so, but other than that, guys, thank you for listening to Nerd Talk After Hours. Very much appreciate you guys for tuning in. Other than that, you guys have a great weekend. See you.